Morning. It's Monday, August 14th. Stay with me today. I might be a little bit slow because I got very little sleep last night. Had some adventures and some overnight trading. But in any case, let's see if we can go down this list. First, I want to cover the major indices: ARK, SPY, QQQ, IWM. Today is mostly going to be talking about levels, support levels on these pullbacks we're seeing. Okay, we don't have a lot of signals for stocks that I'm going to be like slamming right now is the time to buy, unless you want to get Tesla, because Tesla's at a key level right now. But we'll get that. We'll get to that. So let's look at these levels, see how much downside left there could be. So RK, we've been talking about where I am hoping that 20-week moving average will be the support. So the 20-week moving average is right around 42. Right? Maybe 41.80, something like that. Just a touch below here. Hopefully that'll be it. But if that breaks, you can go to that 50-week moving average. Let's go back to the dailies and see. Or actually, you know what? If that breaks, you got 41.51. It almost coincides. 41.51, 41.76. You know what? So let's call that the support. I'm really hoping there's a lot of levels here. That used to be resistance. 2 candles of resistance, 2 candles of support. Now it's the 20-week moving average. I really hope that holds. A little bit of nervousness out there in terms of risk assets with PPI coming in hot, interest rate expectation or expectations of cuts being delayed. So that's why you're getting the RK sell-off. But I think hopefully we're close to the bottom in RK. SPY. Okay, SPY, hopefully we're close to the bottom here at the 50-day moving average at about 443. So maybe not much more room there to go. The problem is that makes all of this scary is QQQ looks terrible. QQQ, this is one what went up more than everything else because of the mega caps, and now QQQ is below the 50 DMA. I really don't like that look at all, and I don't know what's going to happen. Will the QQQ be saved in this odd, precarious place because the SPY bounces off the key level? I don't know. Or will the QQQ keep breaking down and drag the market down with it? I really don't know. But I have to tell you, Friday, I saw signs. I had the show with Rex, and I kind of disagreed with Rex. Rex was like, turned from like bullish in the morning to like majorly bad. Let's see what he saw, because I saw a lot of relative strength. Like I was seeing rotation is what I saw. We saw a lot of stocks, a lot of risk assets that were doing well, even though RK was down. One of them was like Apron, man, SMSI, Apron, Sabre, like a lot of the stocks on our list were PSQH even. There was money rotating. So I feel it's like money coming out of the big cap tech and moving into some of these other underpriced assets is what I've been watching. So I hope that what we have is the RK and SPY bounce off that level, and we're just seeing a rotation out of some of that big tech into a little bit more risk, into little like industrials and energy like we're seeing with SPY. That's my hope, but you really can't know for sure. Okay, let's go through a couple of these earnings, and then we'll get to the morning show list because I want to talk about Tesla. Tesla's at a key level. This morning we had some earnings. XXII was terrible, just terrible. Man, I still have a few shares, and I don't know why, like lottery shares in my IRA account, which I don't know how, probably should get rid of that. But they guided down on revenue by a bunch, something like 95 million to 75 million, something like that. And my calculation on their cash, they have less than 2 quarters of cash available. They're burning through a lot of cash. So I think they're probably going to do another offering within the next 3 months. And the market sees that. Shorts are getting ahead of it, minus 15%. They're probably expecting another toxic offering. The only positive thing in this XXII report was that a national drug chain is going to be launching VLN cigarettes in September in 5 states. That was the only positive. It's definitely very interesting. But I just think XXII is unfortunately still uninvestable at this time. All right, we also had earnings in TexMD and Zevra. I don't know TexMD well. Zevra, I know Chris Tarbert from our community has been talking about Zevra, and this looked more interesting to me. Actually, of all the earnings reports this morning, Zevra looked the most interesting, and it is on our morning show list. So they had a big beat. 8.47 beats 2.9. But 5 million of that was one time because of milestone payment. Back that out, but you still get 3.47 beating 2.9. The other thing that's very interesting here is they have enough cash into 2026. So that's a long runway for a pharma company here that had a headline beat. So it took a small nibble here at the ask, 535. I even got a little bit higher too this morning, but not big size because the spread is so big. That's the biggest reason I didn't give big size. It's $5 by 535. So I kind of want to wait to see how this opens, and I also want to talk to Chris. I sent him a note, haven't heard from him yet. So we'll see. Stay tuned. Like in the chat room, if I get a greater signal on Zevra based on my collaboration with Chris, we'll let you know. HTCR just had earnings like moments ago, and I haven't had a chance to look at it. Okay, so EPS misses, sales beat. I'd have to go through it, but we're holding a small position in this one because of the Japanese IPOs. This is a Japanese IPO play. Okay, so maybe there's something in here. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, this is a collaborative show anyway. That's not going on YouTube, so let's just read it together real quick. Looking for the main catalyst. I'm looking for though we didn't have any Go IPO clients go public in Q2. We have made significant amount of progress being made behind the scenes and expect to see a robust second half of the year and beyond. I'm very encouraged by the results we generated year to date and expect an even stronger. So no specific information. I forgot the name of the company, but one of their biggest IPOs I thought was for like September, October period. I've been waiting for a news release or something about that. And so nothing specific about that. So just with that very quick skim, okay, I don't know that we're going to be moving up on this. The headline numbers were mixed, so I don't really know how this is going to react. But I think I'm going to continue holding a small piece in case you get those IPOs, because when you get those IPOs, you can get like, I think it was like $1.50 cash just from that one IPO we're waiting for. Okay, and then I think they said they'd give a special dividend or something from that, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so that's HTCR. I think TFFP is coming later this morning. I don't really care about that much, but out of curiosity, we keep it on the list. Today, after the close, look out for RUM, VTSI, Quick, and Go EV and XWell. The only ones I'm really Go EV, I'm not interested in the earnings unless they come out and they say, hey, we raised X amount of dollars and we have enough cash, to reach profitability. Short of that, not interested. Okay. Then we have RUM, VTSI, and Quick. I actually have positions in all of these. And and they're all going to be interesting. And I think I will act on all three of these if they have a nice earnings beat. Okay, so I know the stories on this. We've talked to the VTSI CEO. I think, did we talk to the Quick CEO? I'm not sure, but we know the big catalyst we're waiting for on Quick is that huge Department of Defense contract on the radiation hardened semiconductor chips. Wow, this has really come down. So we have to see. We'll see. And if it's good, this is great setup. And actually, VTSI is also a great setup because they've gone down a lot before earnings. They've gone down a lot before earnings. So if you have a good earnings report, it can really bounce. Just beware of VTSI. Their top line numbers are probably not going to look good because they gave us their backlog last quarter. We knew what the backlog last quarter was. So the thing that's really going to move the stock is going to be the backlog for next quarter and their guidance for next quarter. So that's going to be a tricky one to play the headline. Make sure to read the press release. Okay. All right. That's that. Now, this morning, another thing that happened here is China came out. Now, I don't know exactly what this means, but let me just show this to you. Oh, what happened to it? Oh, man. Okay, there it is. China Hang Seng Index is selling off sharply after Chinese new loans data for July came in at less than half of the forecast. I don't know the implication of that, but less than half, it's got to be important and it's got to be bad. Okay, so what I did this morning, as soon as I saw that, I went ahead and shorted KWeb. Also, XPEV and Elite Auto had some bad news, pricing pressure for EVs in China. Also, Tesla's down on that. So Tesla's dropping their price. XPEV and Li were down significantly in China. I saw an arbitrage opportunity. XPEV and Li were basically flat while the China stocks were down big. And so I'm short XPEV, Li, KWeb. I think Taiwan Semi also maybe had some bad news this morning, but I couldn't find the article. All I see is a little title that says net profit 181 versus 237. So a lot of like bad. And by the way, TSM, that makes me think like, man, you know what's gotten killed recently ever since SMCI? Ever since SMCI came out and had light guidance for the quarter, they've been killed. You know what else has gotten killed? NVIDIA followed it down in sympathy. You know what else has gotten killed? Soxel, the semiconductor index, has gotten killed. And now you have TSM looking like it's light. And look at that. And so I didn't short TSM, though, because I couldn't find the full article. Okay, without that full article, I'm not making this decision just on that headline, but I am sure XBev, Lee, and KWeb for today. Now, shout out to Niraj who gave us this idea, and it's actually not working for me right now. So apparently, I haven't been following AMC and Ape. I know peripherally what's going on, but now we're getting the signal that finally a court case happened, and Ape and AMC are supposed to end up trading at the same price. So you see AMC going down, Ape going up. I said, oh, that's a perfect pair trade. Let me short AMC and go long Ape. So I put the two orders in, but what happened was the Ape filled and the AMC didn't fill because it couldn't find shares to short, couldn't locate shares to short. So right now that's the story here. But if Niraj, our colleague Niraj is right about this, and I haven't had time to independently verify it, then you'll see AMC keep going down and Ape going up, and somewhere they'll meet in the middle. Hopefully, it won't be that AMC goes straight to 220, 210. But we'll see. But if you were able to actually do it a pair trade, short AMC, long Ape, that might be good. I just want to note ATGN. I can't trade this as a pink sheet, but my colleague Mark Gomes did reach out to me, and it looks interesting because he's a fundamental guy, and we do 4 pillars. So fundamentals, but then he told me they got some sort of AI contract from the government Friday. Unfortunately, I can't play this, but just putting this out there for you because it does fit at least 2 pillars of story trading. So right now, if you look at this, you see I had a strong Friday. I think that news came out Friday afternoon, and you can see I have resistance here about 92, 93 cents. And if that breaks, you can make a run to $1 to $1.25, maybe towards $1.50. But I don't know this well. Haven't put a lot of time into it because honestly, we can't trade it. It's a pink sheet, and I need to focus on things we can actually trade, but just want to throw that out for your benefit in case you want to start looking into it. All right, so that was like some preliminary catching up with the news. Now let's go to our morning show list and see what kind of opportunities we think we'd want to play today, if any. Might not want to play. We'll see. But Tesla pulling back with that Chinese news, pulling back with RK. Look at this level. Very interesting. Wow. This whole head just like wiped out. And here's the gap. The top of that, the close, 234.86. We're right here at 235.92. Man. And the RSI is 36. I know it's in the middle of 2 crazy moving averages. I know QQQ looks precarious. But you know what? I think it might be worth a risk around here at 235 at this gap fill. And maybe it ends up becoming an investment rather than a trade because, who knows what's going to happen with the NASDAQ here. After 235, your support's over here at the 20-week moving average at about 224. But Tesla looks very interesting, and it's at the top of my watch list to at least watch. We already have a position, but maybe we'll add more. Okay, SMCI, another one, just gotten clobbered. And this one is really cheap fundamentally. I mean, their trailing PE is... What's their trailing PE? Their trailing PE is 22. Their forward PE at this point is probably like or less, 15 their 2024 earnings. So SMCI, it looks cheap. It's a scary chart. So let's see where we can find support. Similar to Tesla, and that's in between these key moving averages. And you got to hope some candles here support will hold. So, man, I don't see a clear... Maybe this one was resistance before 242.99. I don't know. Maybe this is a support right here at 245. So I don't see like a clear candle support. What's the top of this candle right here? 242 again, which comes out with that. So maybe 242. 242 came up twice in the candle analysis here. Maybe 242 will hold, but honestly, we added some Friday. But the fundamentals are too cheap here. And I know AI is a little bit out of favor. It got too hot. Now people are profit taking. So I don't know exactly when it's going to turn. But I think SMCI at these levels is something you can start adding as a value play, which is going to get hot again at some point. The whole AI thing will come back and they'll get their sentiment premium. So this is something I think you can start stepping into, but don't have the expectation you'll make money on it right away or today. That goes for Tesla too. So none of these are things like I think that you could definitely make money on right away. They're just like interesting levels to maybe start picking some up on Tesla and SMCI. SMSI, man, hit our target. We are all out of our swing shares. We gave you a target of 175 at the 200 DMA. And then as a stretch, we gave you, I think it was 185. Here it is, the 50 DMA, 185. I guess outside chance of hitting the top of the gap here at 208. But man, in the early pre-market, you see this, there was some crazy stuff going on in the early pre-market, so we were able to get out of all of our swing shares. It hit our target and then some in the early pre-market, so that was fortunate. So for us, but in any case, now we're at 168, 170. Will it make a move higher during the day or next couple days to these two levels? It could. That absolutely could make that move to 175 to 185, maybe to 208. That's possible, but it's starting to get stretched, man. The RSI is 82. This thing has come up from $1.20 in just a few days, and honestly, I think it's going to be premature to send this thing like over to and off to the stratosphere. I think you got to wait for evidence that the AT&T launch is going well before you can start justifying prices well into the twos. So I think it's getting a little long in the tooth over here. And while I'm keeping some long, I'm keeping my entire long position in my personal retirement account. But as far as trading share goes, we're out of it now, and we're going to revisit. Maybe on a pullback, we can get back in on those trading shares. So SMSI was an incredible call. We timed it perfectly with that entry the morning after earnings. All right, ACHR was a big fail last week, and unfortunately, I had to take a loss on like half of the position. I kept half. The reason I was just looking for good exits here. You're riding the 20 DMA. I'd like to believe we're not going to breach below the 20 DMA. And just to sum it up, why did this fail? The headline the company wrote, very deceiving. Boeing is not really an investor. Boeing is a party in a lawsuit. They're getting paid. They're not really, I mean, net, they're getting money. They're not giving money. And that was really deceptive of the company to put out a press release like that. And I think that's why you had the huge pop. Everyone thought it was Boeing. And then people who were a little more diligent than me figured out quicker that Boeing was really getting paid rather than giving money net. So that's why it pulled back. That being said, Cathie Woods added more ACHR shares on Friday, and she did participate in this deal, and it's riding up to 20 DMA. So yeah, I wasn't going to dump my entire position, at 550 or whatever. I'm going to wait for pops and work my way out of that. And that one will probably end up being overall a loss, unfortunately, because of how we played that one. Okay, so that's ACHR. Zevra we talked about. Okay, so I can't even show you the chart. Let's see if I have time. It's 9:18. So let me pull up the chart on the desktop because you know what? I don't have time to share. I'm just going to do an audible here on SMS on Zevra. So Zevra ZVRA where can it go here? It's got some resistance right here at 550. Look, this thing has been chopping it's been in a range between 450 and 6, just up and down like this. That's it. 450 and 6 for like a year. So I'd like to think with this earnings report, you can make a move back towards 6. Okay. That's kind of what I'm hoping for here on this earnings beat. But I'm not making a big investment in this because I don't know it well, and I'm waiting for Chris to tell me what's up on ZVRA. All right, Sabre, it was very strong last week. Markets were crashing Friday, and Sabre kept going up. This is one of the only stocks I got Rex to say he likes, especially after it reclaimed 550. So we're on the same page with that, with a 6 to 8 swing target, and that's still our swing target on Sabre. Impressive how it's been holding its gains. So we're waiting for this IPO catalyst to come in September, and Yatra YTRA was really, really strong Friday, holding its gains. And there is apparently Matt Kolb is telling us they got to get past some sort of SEC deadline today to revise some wording for the IPO. So possible risk there if they don't get that into the SEC of India. So a little bit of risk there, but I really like the volume coming in. I like how this is holding up, and I'm holding this for a possible move towards 4. Basically, you know what? If and when they announce the IPO, that, hey, the IPO is happening, it's going to be on this date or roughly this date, I am probably going to be exiting at least 75% of the shares on that day rather than waiting for the IPO. Okay. I've had experience with this, and that's, I think, the best way to play Yatra. All right. Overstock, we're waiting. We're just waiting. Look, it's RK. It's going to be beholden to RK, or unless the company comes out and gives us some early data on how sales are going, which I think they could. That could happen anytime based on the app rankings. I think sales are pretty good. So we'll see if they do that. And then Apron, very strong. I think this was institutional buying last week. I didn't see any retail chatter heading into this. It just took everyone by surprise, and everyone's like, what the hell's going on? And the way it was walked up, I was watching the tape all day on Apron, and to me, that looked like institutional action. It didn't look like retail. It was just slow and steady all day long. Maybe a little bit of retail right at the end. They started getting excited. So Apron continuing to hold this. They didn't give us what we needed in their earnings report. Like, hey, we do have enough money to reach profitability. If they said that, then this thing would be $10 already. It may be that some institutions are anticipating that, even though they didn't explicitly say it, because the upside is really big on this one. We're talking about, 2, 3, 4 bagger this year if they're able to switch to profitability. And they also have that potential money coming in from the collateral from Joe Sandberg. So this took someone's interest last week, obviously. So we're going to continue to hold this one. I like the relative strength we had Friday and the relative strength we had this morning. So Apron, actually, I think I'm going to end up putting Apron on higher watch here for today. Okay, and PSQH has been strong too. All right, so I think that's going to be about it. So let's try to reorder these, and we'll take a quick look at the news feed. So I do want to put APRN up here. SMSI, I think it's kind of getting toppy. So this is like on watch to reach those resistance levels I told you about, and then maybe look for a reversal from there, at least in the short term. Yatra been very strong. So Apron and Yatra, we're going to put up in the top 5. ACHR, I'm not looking for a big move today. Oops, what happened here? No, I did not say Siri. Okay. Zevra, I'm going to put up here because that did look interesting. Okay. Sabre, slow and steady. I don't have no reason to believe that it's going to explode today. Overstock, I have no reason to believe it's going to explode today. We're going to continue watching those. PSQH, I'm going to put it closer to the top because it had really strong price action last week after the CEO came out. And he did say in an interview, we have enough cash to get to profitability. And the stock started doing really well after that. Okay. PSQH, and I'm looking for 15 to 20 on PSQH. All right. So this one's a little, look, we got like these risky little micro caps up here last couple of days. They've been doing well. We've seen a rotation into these names as the broader market's been selling off. So Apron, Yatra, Zevra, and PSQH, we're going to put up here along with kind of watch Tesla and SMCI for entries for longer term holds, and watch SMSI for reaching those 2 or 3 resistance levels a touch higher than here, then a potential pullback. And that's about it. Let's just check the news feed here, see if we have anything new that came in while we're doing our show. So pop on over to 8:55 a.m. Blink charging enhances electric vehicle charging accessibility, Columbia Center Tower. I don't care about that. Sabre, Cvent announces integration of Sabre Hospitality, elevating and streamlining the group booking process. Okay, it doesn't seem too huge. ACHR, closing oversubscribed pipe as part of 258. Okay, let's read about this. Who was the extra people who came in on this oversubscribed pipe? Probably people who shorted it and wanted to cover, but let's see. Position to close today. Okay, led by Stellantis, and we got ARC and United Airlines, who are 2 of the largest investors in the pipe, signifying the intersection of innovative financial institution and traditional aerospace. Okay, at Archer, we're investing in changing the future of mobility. We're focused on building sustainable business with huge growth potential. You have to align yourself with investment. United Airlines investment in the pipe was its 3rd time investing in Archer, strengthening its commitment to the eVTOL maker even further after it originally invested $25 million in 2021. In connection with entering into with Archer for the In addition to ARC and United Airlines, oversubscribed pipe financing includes participation from an impressive roster of existing new investors, including Boeing and Ken Moelis. Vehicle. Well, I don't know. I hope Boeing and Ken Moelis are not like shorts who shorted Friday and they're going to cover on the offering. I guess it's possible, but I don't know. This $250 million investment round combined with the remaining Stellantis commitment will bring Archer's total liquidity over $675 million and bring Archer's aggregate funding to $1.1 billion. The funds from this round are intended to be used for working capital and general corporate purposes. Okay. It sounds great, man. If like you didn't know about the terms of the deal that Boeing was getting, like you're just still scratching your head. You're still looking at this and thinking like, how come this didn't go up Friday? Like all these retail, I bought this at $625. Why the heck did it go down? Like I mean, the headlines look really, really great. Unfortunately, they were a little shady with the Boeing participation. All right. And with that, we're going to leave it here. I am going to move ACHR up a little bit on that press release. Let's move it up here. and then SMSI 1 notch down. All right. So basically, it's not a top 5. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's like watch these 7 stocks. Okay. Nothing too exciting. Nothing to slam in pre-market. No big predictions for today. So take it for what it's worth. Hopefully, it's helping you out. And then we'll see you for a 1 p.m. update. Look at that, right at 9:26. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.